Sunday morning brake job. Windstar project continues. This is a dual caliper design, so I'll have to figure out a way to compress those. I have two little compressor tools, and I'll just probably put them in, right next to each other and turn them together to try and push that in evenly. I'm sure it won't be that big of a challenge. These brake rotors, although they're staying, notice they're held on by these stupid screws. Ford uses a Torx head. There's a screw there, and there's a screw there. I'm sorry, he probably lost the picture. There's a screw here, a screw there, and a screw right there. All solidly rusted in place. Why? Why, Ford? Why? Why? If it's just to hold the thing on during the assembly of the car, just use a plastic Christmas tree, rivets, anything. It doesn't serve a structural purpose to hold them in like that. Or maybe it does. If somebody knows that, then let me know. Off to AutoZone go. New brake pad, old brake pad, plus some Sly, Sil Glide brake lubricant, bought at AutoZone. This is their Duralast Max. Duralast Max. It's about 40 bucks. Observe. This is how I compress the calipers. It's a dual piston design. So I have already had this one, the compressor, disc brake compressor, but obviously with two, I just went and bought another one for $5, $7, however much it was. Now Lyle makes a tool that looks like a caulking gun, where you like squeeze, the caulking gun, and it pushes a big plate, compresses these things evenly. But I just turned them a little bit at a time. One time, on the left side, and the other time on the right, until I got it fully compressed. This method works. As you can see, it works fine. You just have to go slow, and it'll work. Save yourself $37 for the Lyle tool. You really don't need it. Can get this to turn off. What's going on here? I don't know what's going on. Something. Gosh darn it. I swear. Alright, I lubed up the slide pins. As you can see them right there. Just put a little bit of, just a thin layer of the lubricant. And I put some a little bit on the inside of the boots, just to keep it, nice and supple. Pop them in there, and it's ready to go. That's retracted. Now we put the pads in. Okay, there's the bracket. There's the bolts. I took a wire wheel to them with a Dremel or rotary tool and cleaned up the threads. I'll put some anti-seize on there. I'm using my anti-seize for bolts and stuff. I'm going to use the brake lube for the sliding contacts. It's a much better idea, I think. This kit came with new hardware, so that's my next step. Put this bracket back on. Tip on these pads. This bracket here interferes with this pad. You can't just put it straight on. You have to there's a certain way you have to put it in. I found out from trial and error. First, leave your bracket a little loose, and then set the top first. Set the top, and then kind of swing it in, and then click it onto the bottom. That's how I got it on. And there it is. So it's on there. Now I'll put the other one on and put the caliper back on and go on to the next wheel. I'll gotta look up a torque spec on all these various bolts, but I've got a factory service manual and a Haynes, so that won't be any difficulty. Okay, after some struggling, the caliper back on. I went easy on the easy, no seize, whatever it's called, anti-seize. I went easy on it this time. And I only used it on the bolt threads. I didn't use it on the hardware itself. I used the Sly Glide or whatever it's called. Stop Sleek Seal Glide brake lubricant. $8 at AutoZone. We'll torque all these up to spec and then do the other side. But all in all, it's certainly DIY. It's just a couple little tricks to it. It can be a little frustrating, but not too bad really. Ooh, that was a struggle to compress this one. This side really was tough. I had to use my little ratcheting pliers here to grab a hold of that. Turned it slowly, and got it finally to retract. Yeah, son, what? All right, I'll be in there in a minute.